You know the story of Adam and Eve, right? Adam's alone in a perfect garden. God puts him to sleep, takes a rib, and poof makes a woman. It's an iconic story, etched into our culture. But what if I told you the Bible doesn't just have one creation story, but two? And what if I told you they contradict each other in ways you've probably never noticed? Right there, in the first 2 chapters of Genesis, is a secret that changes everything. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So, let's quickly recap the story we all think we know. This is from Genesis chapter 2. The Lord God forms a man from dust, Adam, and places him in the Garden of Eden. But God says, it is not good for the man to be alone. So, he decides to make a suitable helper. First, he brings all the animals to Adam, but none are a perfect fit. So, God puts Adam into a deep sleep, takes a part of his side, and from that, builds a woman. Adam wakes up and says, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." This is the famous story of Adam's rib. It's intimate and personal. But it's not the first story. To find the first story, you just have to go back 1 chapter. Genesis 1 tells a completely different tale. This is creation on an epic, cosmic scale. Over 6 days, God speaks the universe into existence. Then, on the 6th day, Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." Let that sink in. Male and female, he created them together at the same time. There's no loneliness, no parade of animals, and definitely no rib. So now we have a puzzle. Genesis 1 says, animals first, then man and woman are created together as a pair. Genesis 2 says, man first, then the animals, and finally the woman. How can both be true? Well, most scholars now believe that Genesis weaves together several older source documents. The story with the rib is actually the older of the two. It comes from what's called the Yahwist source, and it reads like an ancient folk tale where God is very personal, walking in the garden and sculpting man like a potter. The story in Genesis 1 comes from the priestly source, written much later. It's majestic, orderly, and focuses on God's cosmic power. The genius of the Bible's editors is that they didn't pick one. They gave us both, the grand, cosmic view and the intimate, personal view. They're 2 different theological portraits of who God is and who we are, and the language holds even deeper secrets. That word translated as rib, the original Hebrew is sitla. In almost every other place it's used in the Old Testament. It means the entire side of a building, a whole half. Eve wasn't made from a tiny bone. She was made from Adam's entire side. And that word, helper, the Hebrew is iz. The word Ezer is most often used to describe God himself as a strong rescuer or warrior. A better translation would be a power equal to him. Eve wasn't made as an assistant. She was created as a strong ally, an equal partner. So, what does this all mean? The biblical text is far more complex and brilliant than we often give it credit for. It doesn't give us one flat story, but a conversation between ancient traditions. The real secret of Genesis is the original vision it presents. A vision of humanity built on partnership, equality, and a shared purpose. If your mind is a little blown right now, make sure to like this video and comment below, did you ever notice this before? And don't forget to subscribe for more explorations of biblical mysteries. Thanks for watching.